We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man.
Black America had $20 billion in spending power back then, worth over $200 billion in today's money. Fast forward to 2024 and the spending power has skyrocketed to $1.8 trillion. That's 9 times more than it was in the 60s. So you would think black wealth would have grown just as much, right? Wrong. The median black household's wealth has only increased by 60%, and black wealth has actually declined by 4% in 2024. And this isn't just an American issue. Across Europe, black communities face the same economic struggles. So why are we still stuck? Malcolm X believed the answer was clear. He spent years warning us, teaching us 3 important lessons that other communities are following to create better economic outcomes for themselves. In this video, we'll break down exactly what these 3 lessons are and why applying these lessons today could be the key to finally breaking the cycle. December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment was ratified, officially abolishing slavery across the United States. March 6, 1957, Ghana became the first African nation to gain independence from colonial rule. Both moments should have marked the end of white dominance over black people, at least on paper. The chains that had bound our ancestors for centuries were finally broken, but one thing remained enslaved: our minds. The mind is the most powerful and adaptable tool we have. It can be shaped, molded, and programmed. And for centuries, the minds of enslaved Africans, and even those still on the continent, have been deliberately conditioned to reinforce a destructive narrative. We were told to see ourselves as inferior and divided amongst ourselves. Our identities, self-belief, and self-knowledge were systematically erased. And that mental conditioning is still affecting us today.
For instance, the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself. And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man. The same thing that the white man has done for himself and his kind, if our people could if we could be cured of our slave mentality that was indoctrinated into us during slavery, we would realize that just as the white man can do these things for himself and his kind, we can get together in unity and harmony and do the same thing for ourselves and our kind.
Even though we're technically free, many still rely on Western institutions to survive. At the individual level, many African descendants in North America or in Europe depend on government welfare to sustain themselves. And at the national level, many African countries rely on foreign aid from Western countries to keep their economies afloat. This dependency was programmed through the racist belief that black people are incapable of governing themselves without white intervention. But real freedom, economic, political, and psychological, begins with understanding that we don't need external help to survive and thrive. Before the West even set foot in Africa, we built powerful civilizations, thriving economies, and lasting institutions. And this was all without foreign assistance. And today, other countries have shown that it's possible. Look at China as an example. In the 1990s, nearly 60% of China's foreign direct investment came from its own diaspora. Instead of relying on foreign aid, Chinese expatriates reinvested in their homeland, turning China into one of the most dominant economies in the world today. So the message is clear. We must stop looking outside for solutions and start building for ourselves and understand the importance of self-reliance. To be able to fully rely on ourselves, Malcolm emphasized the importance of pooling our financial resources together to build institutions and businesses. Because here's the problem today. We spend money and don't circulate it within our own communities.
That when you spend your dollar out of the community in which you live, the community
in which you spend your money becomes richer and richer. The community out of which you take your money becomes poorer and poorer.
In the Jewish community, a dollar circulates for nearly 20 days before leaving. In the Asian community, it goes even to a month. In white communities, it stays 17 days. But in the black community, a dollar only lasts 6 hours before it gets spent outside. This means that the moment a black person gets paid, that money immediately leaves the community, going to businesses, landlords, and institutions we don't own.
And you and I are in a double trap, because not only do we lose by taking our money someplace else and spending it, when we try and spend it in our own community, we're trapped because we haven't had sense enough to set up stores and control the businesses of our community.
To break this cycle, we must transition from being just consumers to being owners. Instead of just buying, we must produce. Instead of renting, we must own. Instead of looking for jobs, we must create jobs. Owning businesses in our communities means that money stays longer, gets reinvested, and creates opportunities for others within the community. Because racism can only affect you to the extent that you're depending on another race for your survival needs. It isn't just about making money, it's about providing the essential products and services our community needs. When we don't own businesses, we rely on outsiders to serve us, often at a higher cost, without reinvesting in our own neighborhoods or even countries. This is the reason why Malcolm X focused on the importance of getting into business.
That the only way the black man can be free is when he has a land of his own and a government of his own and an economy of his own, an industry of his own, so he can do the things for himself that he now is waiting and begging the white man to do for him and never gets done.
Now we know the challenges we face today weren't created overnight, and they won't get solved overnight either. But if we want real change, we have to start somewhere. So let me know in the comments which important lessons I might have missed, and don't forget to subscribe.